I got an abusive husband. One day I have to run away from my home. But one day I come back and my husband was shocked to see me because I have his precious. You must be wondering what it is. But before moving towards the actual story of Leah, I would like to ask you to please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest updates. So Lee says my name is Leah. I was 19 years old and I was not very pretty and charming girl. I was also wanted to get into a relationship with someone, but I didn't have time and got no money. That's also a problem. I never saw my mother and I don't know much about my father as well. So I remember his appearance, but one day he left me when I was 13 years old. Since then I was doing everything by myself and I was trying to get a good living. I used to work in a cafe where a man came up to me and told me that he wants to go out with me tonight. In fact, the man used to come here every other week and try to walk to me. My friend also used to say that he's very handsome. You should go out with him. And then one day I said to him, yes. Okay. I will go with you. But then a strange thing that happened. Another person who used to come with him came and he said that he made a bet with me that he would convince you to go on a date with him. This is his bet money which you can hand over him. I feel so annoyed and I went and hit him on the face and told him that I will never go with you. What kind of rushed person you are for? It meant that you had no desire to go with me. You only meant money. That person didn't say a word and leave. But the one who tell me about him was named Paul. I became friends with this man and went out for coffee with him. Coffee meant that we were talking to each other and our relationship was progressing. And after a year we got married. He's a businessman. He was a bit older than me and he was also a bit taller. And you know me now, we had been married for 4 years now, we had a daughter, everything was going great. We own a house, a car and living a happy life. One day I notice is that I found something inside Paul's clothes, which was not mine, but it's a woman's stuff. Paul told me I have to go to a party so get my clothes ready when he came back. I had that thing in my hand. I was sitting on the floor. I said, who does it belongs to? He get quite nervous. That said that she is my secretary, Rose is probably hers. I said that you are having an affair with her. So you're spending the night with her. I'm freaking out. Then Paul held both my hands and told me, he said, look at me, you are my wife. You are important to me. She is not important to me. I just said that yes, I am your wife. And we have this lovely daughters too. He said yes, and you are my wife and I have a lovely daughter. I will always be with you. Don't worry about it. I didn't do any work since I wasn't married. He used to bear all the expenses on his own. That's why he had a lot of will in his house. I thought that when I caught him red-handed, he would be embarrassed afterwards. But his attitude changed after finding out that he was wrong. He started raising his hands on me because someone else was in his belongings. And now I used to tell him that you are deceiving. You're having an affair with someone, and he used to beat me using this as an excuse. He used to say that I'm having an affair with someone. It's a different matter. But baby, you are mine and my daughter's is also mine. I give shelter to get burger expenses. I was angry about this. So I said that I will do the work myself as I used to do before marriage. So my husband told me that before marriage, you used to do a filthy job. You used to work in a cafe wearing a mini skirt and holding coffee in front of people. People used to see you and bet on you. Not only did my husband start beating me, mentally torturing me, but it became common to raise his hands, taunt me and talk about my past life. He knew very well that I have never been in a relationship with anyone before. I didn't do that. You know, I just had a relationship with him and then we got married, and today we also had a 3-year-old daughter. But he didn't care about it. One day, an old friend of mine who used to work with me came to see me. She saw me and there were marks of injury on my face. She was shocked and said, you were very brave. You did not tolerate anything wrong and you never did anything wrong. Today, you are tolerating all this. Tell me who did this to you. Did your husband beat you? He raises his hand on you. If so, why have you not told this to me yet? Why are you tolerating everything? You were very brave? You did not tolerate anything wrong? No, you never did anything wrong today. You are tolerating all this. If you are in an abusive relationship, you should get out of it. Relationships are meant to be difficult. But this way it's too much. I said I have a daughter. What will happen to her? Then she said, how can one be so like not a good husband, be a good father, but all this should not be tolerated. But I said to her, don't ignite me. Maybe Paul was standing and listening to our conversation. He came and cursed my friend for being very disrespectful and threw her out of the house. After that, he raised his hand on me again and then left me there and went to a party and also locked the house. Both my life and marriage were going in a very bad condition. If I was taking care of myself, somehow it was taking care for me, for my daughter. But something I think that it's not only about me, it's about my daughter. Things got so bad that one day I thought about talking to my husband and he hit me hard enough to break my ribs in the middle of the night. I somehow called my friend who came to my house along with her husband and another friend of work, that he picked up and my husband pulled out a gun. We were helpless and started thinking what to do now. But then my friend's husband woke my daughter up who was awake and he said, look what your father is doing. My husband doesn't want to be, bad in front of my daughter. That's why he hooked the gun back and said, no dear, I'm not doing anything just like that. We took advantage and left from there along my daughter. But my husband was very angry and did nothing. Anything they could do to get my daughter back. And me too. I can live alone. There could be no trouble. That's why I separated from that, moved to another city and changed the color of my hair so that no one could recognize me. One day I was standing in the shopping mall with my daughter and somehow, someone put his hand on my shoulder. This was the same man who came and bet for me and who tried to talk to me in cafe. His name is Max. He was not a bad person, but actually I thought he was a bad person and he was married to my husband. Actually, my husband turned out to be bad. His name was Max. He recognized me and I told everything to him. He said we live in the same street if you need anything. Let me know, I said, don't tell your friend that I live here. So he said that he was not my friend. I met him in the same day. He made me bad in front of you. But you don't think one thing that if I made a bet, he also made a bet. I was really surprised to think why you took me as a bad and him as a right? And I bowed my head and I said that I just made a mistake. I am being punished for that mistake. He comforted me and said I am with you. If you have any problem, you can tell me here, I found a person. I told him all this and he told me that you were weak and therefore he was a burden to you. If you were strong, he will never have raised a hand against you. He promised me to train with basic self-defense training, that too for free. I took training from him. And then when I was able to defend myself, I went to my husband's house to meet my husband, but I didn't go unprepared. The first thing I would do when I got home, I cut the phone cord so that he could not call anyone after that. The electricity was cut off. And then when my husband came home, I locked the door and I was standing in front of him and he said I was looking for you and you came here by yourself. Where were you? And where is my daughter? I said that she is not your daughter and I will not let her live as the daughter of a person like you. You will ruin her life. I slapped my husband on the face. He looked so surprised as if he never thought that I would have the courage to slap him on the face. It would because today I have done a brave thing that I have never done in my life. The person cheated me and raised his hands on me. I'm no longer had any soft spot in my heart for a person who broke my ribs. He was very surprised. And I said that you used to raise your hands on me because I was weak. But now I'm not weak. My husband caught me and he said that women are always weaker than men. But remember, the technique was taught by my teacher. I threw myself and my husband on the ground and hit me hard. He was unconscious. I had some jewelry, some money that I had collected. My mom's dad's picture, my daughter's clothes and toys, everything I took from there and left there forever. And after that, I married the man who put a bet on me because actually he was not a bad person. My husband was bad. Maybe I had made a big decision in my life in a hurry and I made a mistaken judgment. But Max is a good man. He loves my daughter too. I have filed a case of domestic violence against my husband and that case is going on now in the meantime. While I'm